Okay. I want to welcome everybody today, and we have made quorum again. Not so well as last time, but we've made quorum, so I think that that's a very good thing, and it gets us off on the right foot. And I call for certification of the quorum.
Yes.
So
Call to order for the certification of the quorum. Yes.
yes,
Yes. So moved.
and we've got a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Anybody want to abstain? Although why you would come here and abstain, I don't understand. I also need call to approve the agenda. Second? Got a second? Okay. We'll make sure that it is emailed out. Sorry for the oversight. We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next, we move to the approval of the recording of the minutes from February 8th. We apologize for the quality of that. We've tried to remedy it somewhat. Our second microphone is at the podium up here. If you'd like to be recognized during the meeting, please come to the center aisle to be recognized. Pick up the handy dandy little handset, and if the button is red, if the light on the top is green, you're fine. If it's red, push the side button and you can speak. It's the only way we're going to get volume enough to hear it on the recording. The last recording, we lost anything that came from the back of the room. Okay. Let's see. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Second? Thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. I'd like to switch the order just slightly for the next two things and proceed with my report to the Senate. As you can well imagine, this past month has been a busy one. I had a message from President Lafferty, and she wanted to tell all of you how much she enjoyed our meeting and really embraced the sight of so many faculty and students working together and pursuing a common goal. She's also asked if she might come as an observer and promised that she'll speak only when on the agenda or if requested. And I told her we more than welcomed her to our meetings. I do want to thank a number of people for their very, very hard work over the past month. The folks on teaching and learning, academic standards, and student senate have done a yeoman's job at preparing for us a first draft of what they're calling reciprocal responsibilities and practices for students and instructors. And while it may not be perfect, it is a big improvement over what we were working with. And I really like its bilateral nature. They've divided it so we can understand both what are the responsibilities and obligations of a faculty member, as well as those of the students in our class. And I really hope that come this fall, student government will continue to step up and make sure to share that message and this with our students once we've finally gotten it approved. The General Education Committee continues to plow forward. We have very cloudy waters when it comes to general education. not only do we have an on-campus mandate to implement a change in gen ed, we've also got one from the state. And trying to match the two sets of requirements, those from the Ohio Department of Higher Education and Ohio 36 with their on-campus needs requires great skill. As I told the Board of Trustees earlier today, general education is something we've got to get right because we can't afford to be here again in 2 years trying to rework it. We've lived with our last gen ed model, perhaps too long, but 23 years without any substantial change. General education is too central to the core of what we do to do it hastily or without thought. And I give them real credit for continuing to move forward and to for sorting through the various levels of both bureaucracy and necessity that general education requires. I also want to thank student government. I understand that they followed through on their promise to collect data from students, and I believe we're going to be hearing some of that a little bit later on. As far as next steps are concerned, I would like to make it a priority to make sure that all spaces in the Senate roster are full. If you know of a vacancy in your college, for example, I was contacted, I believe, by Cliff, and we're moving forward there. We've also got one on the executive committee for Classy, and we'll be taking action there. The other thing I'd like to do, perhaps not at this meeting, but certainly at one of the next two, is set some priorities for next year. And I'd like us to think both in terms of practical necessity and somewhat lofty aspirations. And if you've got suggestions, we'd like to hear them, and I hope that you bring them forth. Having said that, I want to move to the last part of my agenda, which is the Ohio Faculty Council. Again, Ohio Faculty Council continues to meet once a month. YSU has been short an additional representative, and we asked at the last meeting if anybody was interested in volunteering for that position. We have one volunteer, and that's Krishana Jackson Leftwitz. And I need a vote because this person is supposed to be elected by the Senate. So can we call for a vote on this action?
All those, would anybody want to nominate Dr. Krishana Leftwich Jackson for that position on the Ohio Faculty Representative? Do I have a motion? I have a motion here. Do I have a second? Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of sending Dr. Jackson Leftwitz to the Ohio Faculty Council as our second representative, please state your affirmation. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Congratulations, Krishana. Okay, with that said, I'd like to move on to Senate committee reports. First, we have the undergraduate curriculum report. Tom Wakefield. Okay. He has posted at the website a number of courses for approval. Can we have a motion to approve that roster? Second? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? Thank you. I hope we have here Dr. David Ash. Please come forward, Dave. He is now the chair of the Senate Academic Programs Committee.
Yeah, we have a few programs.
Might we have a motion to approve the list? Chet, thank you. Second? Don't be shy. Mary Beth, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor signal by aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Thank you very much. Motion is approved. Under old business, Dr. Carrie Wecht is here with a report on the response to the common syllabus questions.
This is optional syllabus. And then second, which if you look across the country, there's a learner-centered syllabus, which goes and options. Also, syllabus is supposed to only structures and options. So, according to or should know it for students to buy into the state, always be optional, so you have to have some practice. Students know how to first. That's going to be share their own information. And furthermore, teach gender role in person.
Any questions for Dr. Wecht? Mike?
To people, and you don't refer to people by any of those other categories, but Chinese so
Thank you, Dr. Wecht. Is there any other old business outstanding that we've missed? Okay, I'd like to move on to new business. First on our agenda is Dr. Kevin Ball with the Testing the Faith Act.
Talk a couple minutes about House Bill 350, also known as that this was passed by the General Assembly. It will be effective April 3rd. Nothing will become state law. Why it should have to be in compliance time for summer courses, summer 2020. That's summer. Provides accommodations for students. Most cases, these were accommodations that faculty were already providing to students, but provides that, provides for steps, requires each institution to adopt a policy. We actually did that earlier today at its board meeting. It requires every where it is discussed. Then it requires every instructor to include language on the course syllabus. So how we get there, we talk about today. It requires a statement regarding the institution's policy. For why it should make sense to put that on the common syllabus or to and from the common syllabus in some way. The policy for, if you've read, policy permits a student to be absent up to 3 days this semester, reserve holidays for reasons of faith, for religious or spiritual belief system. And thus, if a test or another course requirement would conflict with that time, the instructor shall provide alternative accommodations. Now, students have to notify their instructors of these possible conflicts at the beginning of the semester. So it can't just occur. The requirement is that no later than 14 days after the first day of instruction, the student has to provide written notice of the dates for which the student requests alternate accommodation. So they have to spell that out. We'll have the syllabus at the beginning of the semester. They'll be able to note the conflicts, and then they'll be able to provide written notice to the instructor within those first 14 days. Dana Lance is the director of Equal Opportunity Policy Development in Title IX, and she and I worked together. She couldn't be here today. But we drafted the language that would enable us to be in compliance with ISU policy. She couldn't be here today because she's in the board meeting right now. We could always invite her to come at a later date. So I'll defer to Martha of how we want to proceed with this, but essentially we need, like I said, we need the language to be in place in time for summer 2023 summer classes. How we get there, I guess, is up to this body. Harry Wex suggested that the easiest thing to do might be to link from, should what Carrie talked, or you want me to summarize?
Gary?
Link from the common syllabus to the attendance policy in the catalog, which already outlines the attendance policy and the accommodations there. Very suggested that's a natural fit to have it in the same place in the catalog, and then there would just be a link on the common syllabus for students to go to that. The language that we're suggesting, is pretty much just straight from HB 353, outlines, the process for requesting, and then outlines, if the student believes that accommodations works, may adequately either make a complaint through or through DLS. So that's basically what that out. So I can try to answer questions, or we can.
I have a question, Kevin, and I think it might clarify things for everybody here. So what you're suggesting is the language from point D, 1 and 2, and E be included in LinkedIn?
And then you have the other language for the second.
There it is.
It's not the most relevant for Americans.
Point of information, Jonathan Ferris Hart. I'm just kind of curious, this is mainly about attendance, so that if, for example, you had a research paper due during a holiday that they have since the beginning of the class to work on it, that due date would still probably be in place, correct? We just say, get it in ahead. It seems to me that that's attendance. I don't know. I mean, I was reading it. So.
Seems to me that would be part of that discussion, you know, when they provided you, I know I'm gonna have this conflict on this date, and then, yeah, you have that discussion and say, right, you have the assignments, we're here.
Yes. Can you come forward, please? Because we really can't hear in the recording.
Big question, all we have is the language, that's literally the language from HB 353. It just, that's 14 days from the first day of insertion.
Should we clarify that? It'd be either 14 days. Okay.
Right, Hillary was pointing out that the language doesn't limit it to the holiday itself, it is also observance. That's included. The language refers to a student's sincerely held belief. And so any question about that would be to be directed to Dana Lance. Some question about it.
Jackie?
Summer.
Good point. in mind that, you know, these were legislators, not teachers. So, yeah, and for a seven. Really presents any number of challenges. It does not, I don't believe it makes any, it only says 14 days from the first day of instruction.
Any other questions? Would someone like to make a resolution to put this forward? This language as an addition to the common syllabus. It'll be a link.
I would suggest, as we talked about, that this language be added to the course catalog page, next, on the same page as the policy. It's already linked to from the common syllabus. And then if this body agrees, we would add a link to the common syllabus that would go to.
Adam?
Well, it's just a friendly amendment. I'm not sure if I can do that now. Yeah, but just the calendar days, so I think that calendar day. I don't know. Somebody's brought it up, but I don't know if we ever actually identified this. It's our language. We're adopting it. And we're basically keeping the spirit of language. So.
You would, Adam, you'd say, man,
There's no second. Calendar day.
14 calendar days.
I mean, look, I know this, most students won't look for loopholes. I think it does, so. Which I'm sure was what Senator Ferris was, you know, occasionally you get students who will look for these options, and so, but
Snow. Yeah. This is language specified by the law. So we're just we're clarifying the language by using the law's language.
So it's like already what we said we do.
We need a second.
Second on the motion, Sal. Any other discussion? Hearing none. I need a resolution to call for the vote. I call for the vote. All those in favor of including this language in the common syllabus through a link, signal by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? One abstention. Thank you. This will make everybody's life much easier as we work to finish the catalog approaching summer. Thank you, Kevin. Donna Cerny is here from the Academic Standards Committee. We've been asked for a clarification on academic reassessment policy and graduating with honors.
Recommendations, which should be wealthy. What they are requesting referencing is a petition for changes for academic reassessment. The other believes that this. So we are recommending that different calculated grade should be considered in determining honors distinction than drop courses.
Am I clear that this is just a continuation of a policy or an extension of a policy that already exists? Any questions for Dr. Cerny? Would someone like to make a motion?
YouTube comes out.
Okay. Just call for a vote. Okay. All those in favor of using this additional language in our academic reassessment policy? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? Thank you very much. I would like to switch the next two items. Nico, I think that the student government data goes better after. Okay. If you'd like to, but that's fine. We've got Nico Masterdides here from student government to present the data they promised that they would collect.
So prior to our resolution, a little bit of data on classroom. So through our time going through the CDA, code of conduct, looking at this meetings, we realized that there is a pretty big divide between student expectations in the classroom and faculty perception of those expectations. So that's kind of what we wanted to highlight through this document. So we collected feedback from a little bit, right around 450 students. So this is basically saying that top expectations are a lot in the classroom. Sometimes those expectations are unrealistic, sometimes they aren't. But this presentation is kind of designed to show you student views on current classroom practice. So the first question we asked was, when you think of fair time for professional syllabus, is over 86% of students think it's fair that they on the first day of class. In the next one, 96% of students think it's fair how we respond to questions in 2 business days. 76% of students think a fair return time for smaller grades such as homework is within 4 business days. $86% of students think a fair return time for larger grades, projects, for exams, 2 weeks. 84% of students believe important to have more than 1 grade submitted by the withdrawal date, which this actually lined up pretty well because the withdrawal date is today. So in the CDA, you are only contractually obligated to have 1 grade posted. 4% of students. And then this one, 76% of students have more than 10% of their grade uploaded by withdrawal. So, like I said, the purpose of these numbers is everyone was have a better idea of student expectations in the classroom. Like I said, some of them are realistic, some of them aren't. But there is a divide between student expectation and perception, as well as faculty expectation. Classroom. So last month we passed the resolution to create an ad hoc committee with members of student government, teaching and learning, and standards and
So standards, academic standards.
academic standards. Standards that hopefully come up with a collaborative agreement on both fronts. So today, I believe they're just seeking comments and general feedback from the Senate. We're going to put a 2-week limit on that and they're seeking, their source. So, bring the document up.
Okay. Harry, you want to join us? Donna? Pardon?
So this has been a, series of conversations.
Harry, it's not working.
Gotcha. This is a series of conversations. Works pretty well together. You know, it's good for how is the activity? So, now in good faith, and we're, so it's good, you know, and it says, share the pressure with it. It's how you can stand. We also, yes, groups, we also sought now apply to people like primers, TAs, EAs, graduates. I also wanted to mention that we got some feedback already from some workers on campus, so. So we're hoping that you on March 15th.
Could you give us just a brief synopsis of each section?
We broke these up into a number of large categories. First, syllabi, what were the considerations that both faculty and undergrad contentious points were when the faculty had that syllabi to this and how that aligned with the CBA. Hope that we are covering that here. We believe that we are. On the undergraduate side, we really want both students to actually read the syllabus. That's the hint that I'm not great. So I think that was one of the large underlying points here. The second major consideration that we had under these practices is when grades should be posted by and how those grades should be delivered to students. Format, so we're looking at things like 2 weeks during the, 2 weeks of the regular semester, unless otherwise. So just making those clear statements for students to understand what they should be expecting, going back to what the students' expectations were. Government, sorry, I'm Canadian. Student government provided back to again, the students should actually also be responsible and they should check their grades and their assignments, correct? So, and making this a joint effort. Communication, how do we communicate back and forth with each other? You know, the students would like to have more rapid turnaround. Also, the faculty want our students to actually read what we're sending them and to communicate back with us in quick turnaround. Often, you know, we get that things back and then wait as well. So, like the students be responsible in that regard as well. Also. Last areas, technology. We need really clear policy on which technologies in the classroom requires. So to make clear what the student's responsibility is to access and that technology. for the student to be able to whether or not they are able to understand and use that technology, in which case then the faculty and what that ability to go through. That may require going to IT or another ability to help make that possible. Fine enough. Fine enough overview for you, but with that said, are there
I
yeah.
I just have a question, what's it grade?
We're hoping allows people to see at minimum, but it's great to get a B or to get an A. And with those first few assignments, is that student going to meet their goal? Am I making that clear enough, Karen?
But that's not.
Just trying to get a sense of them.
Try to. We were talking about
Five.
Yeah, can we stop there? Not a lot. So 3 weeks prior to the last day.
Yeah, that's a committee thought, right? My only concern would be if major assignments are still outstanding.
It's not necessarily key.
That's artists, right? They're not key to chapters, not key to all the time, skill building, right? That seems predicted. I wonder how much an instructor would be held to that trajectory. And what's the recourse? If I say, Nico, right, you're doing great. You know what I mean? Good on you. And then that major assignment comes through and it's
I think the word trajectory actually covers that. It's if the student continues on the same path,
so it's
in the
if
same
student
level,
continues
in the
on
same
path.
level of performance, that they can predict what their grade is.
That's helpful.
So if you've got an 85% and you don't just disappear, you continue to do all the work and complete the assignments to the same level of expertise.
So all that is remain.
Simple terms, what we just want to kind of establish. It's March 1st. It's about 3 weeks before the withdrawal date. I think as a student, we kind of want to know whether or not we should be withdrawing from this class or if we should be stuck in. So it's kind of getting an accurate picture of where we think we are.
Claire?
down, first, but the board should size of that chart. So faculty member should, students know student list what they should. Is there potential for their that consideration sign.
I think the should and the shall could be replaced by shall, except we've got contract language that supersedes it. And for example, where it says syllabus will be distributed by the 7th day, that could be a shall.
But it's maybe it's said better this way, there's no market that dictates the other side of that. So it's like, should, has, should, shall, will, have them carry the same weight on both sides. And I just feel like the student that has no recourse, the faculty member should say, well, you did not do this, or you can do something that was. I don't know that that would happen. Potentially. Might have that. Yeah, I'm thinking aloud here, but we talked today about putting on the syllabus, student recourse or, material. Problems and practices. I know student government's working on sort of flow charts for students to, it's not, but I think maybe language for like, here's what's new. I don't know if this is a better word, but be commit to. Sure, I mean, that's different, that makes it. By the time I get back to my office, oh, this is my ass.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Ferris Art, I probably don't need this microphone, but I will take it because that's.
No, we need it for the recording.
Okay, you received the recording. I do want to address this expectation that as soon as possible is 2 weeks. As soon as possible is when the paper gets marked, okay? Now, you know, the issue is that there are people, myself included, that teach maybe 90 students in certain sections. We have high expectations that they will get involved in intensive writing in our classes. If I get a paper where I have to mark every sentence for grammar, and this happens, that takes an hour, okay? So, you know, if you are going to push a mandated time limit beyond, you know, well, everybody's 3 weeks before get 20% of credit, we can do that. But if you're going to push some sort of defined time limit, then you run the potential of punishing the faculty who are being diligently marked. Okay. Paper takes time to get graded, and it takes the time it takes to get one.
Jonathan,
I would,
I think that that
well,
was otherwise stated in syllabus. So if you have an assignment on your syllabus, you know it's going to take longer than 2 weeks. I think I'm going to interpret this, that what students want is an expectation of how long it's going to take. And to put it at 4 weeks. What they're asking is some notion about when.
right. Well, I mean, of course, the notion is if you make the intro sections all do at the same time, it'll depend on when you enter that section. And you do want to make them do at the same time to be fair to people across the intro section. And since we're looking at potentially having the gen ed courses have a cap of 40, I may be dealing with 120 papers next semester. So, which, you know, right now has me a little bit scared. But anyway, I'd be happier if we strike the EG.
Other questions or comments? Okay, we're not bringing this forward for any resolution today. I think we'd like to act on it in April. So we have it ready for fall. And that is our goal. I do want to thank this group because they've moved this farther, I think, in a month than we've moved in probably 6 months to this point. I personally think they need a round of applause. Thank you guys very much.
Sense the comment. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
So we're really wonderful.
It's, on your behalf.
Yeah.
That's great.
thank you very much. We've got one last item here, and it is going to be much briefer than indicated. Dr. Earnhardt has withdrawn his request for a vote on a revised general education model and is going to simply provide us with an update.
Yeah, well, this has been the call. And I know you all know that already. Significant challenge, to say the least. So let's start. I swear it's only going to take 5 or 10 minutes. Here, probably this morning, hey. Okay, so, you know, obviously the issue is we're running ads. Here, I'll tell you that even at recently with transformation task force, we were running ads over there. Said there has been some progress. A lot of it stems from the feedback provided. Some other things. Wasn't for that feedback, we basically spend what we're eating. So, which is but a lot of the interpretation that forced on us. A lot of feedback stemmed from the model that was presented by Jan and I, town halls, the Senate, state government. Fantastic, but it was also very thematic. Why would we write the second course? Why would we change these things? When we know that they actually need our students reporting what Chip Monday said her remarks about their struggle. The struggle is trying to align what we need here with what other countries requires. Fortunately, 36 was built as a one-size-fits-all model. We know that the profile of a YSU student is not the same profile of a student that had whatever. So this morning, we sat in meeting where also sat in the Board of Trustees subgroup that was the academic.
Academic
That was
excellence and student success.
Okay, thank you. It was they asked us questions about the model where we were with it. I thought Student Card did an excellent job of explaining where we are. About trying to navigate some of the anxiety from provost about why we're not moving forward fast enough. But Trustee Steele so one trustee, particular Trustee Steele, mentioned why is there so much concern over certificates? Everybody has certificates. Why everybody has it? So, why there's nothing to vote on that one? We're not ready. I think saying that. I have one weakness as a professional is that I'm transparent. I'll say up here and I would say another half hour. But as a state, we're working. There's a difference in lives and transformation team. Whereas in our committee, we're working through those things and we're hoping for us that by April we'll have for you to vote on. Part of that, just wants to question this morning. Have that model available to you. Show up here to vote. So the idea is that we would just show up here. It would be. Then they're all here about it.
Yeah, I have a question, just like, when the Gen Ed committee was on the slide, both the regular Gen Ed task force were listed together, who are our faculty representatives on the training? So like, how does it break down?
It was,
Why
so,
not, Gen Ed?
no, I said we're going to back this, we're going to back. I saw some back that day. This, so, one of the things that came up in the meeting, I won't say, but was that, the faculty haven't asked fast enough. Thank you. Faculty haven't asked fast enough, and oh, by the way, we're going to do this over the summer. Back, that just didn't sit well with a lot of us. Our concern was that, again, what your interpretation was that I heard, some people, that this was that this qualified, some of you thought that this model that we were presenting that revised based on that some of our did work on and then the task force didn't like that. So that's where we're having some issues. But no, well, they. So our Gen Ed committee, lots of people have either are on the Gen Ed committee, but then that's separate from task force. They got together over the summer, in the fall, and brought that model, that's the model to us. Say, okay, here, let's talk about this now, and then that's where we're having the. Well, there were several speaking that I agree with that, and most of them were shares. So it's. Well, I no problem with that. I really don't. My problem is don't give us something and say there are mistakes. Because I'm not just a lot of smart people. There are a lot of smart people. Why sometimes it's really hard to get stuff done. It's really smart people working together. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got the right way to do this. And some people really can argue to. So that makes it. Look, the other thing is because of collaborating outcomes, I mentioned this a few times, those were meant to, in part, guide this transformation process. What we have agreed, diversified learning outcomes don't necessarily need to inform the model, but they do inform courses to develop, obviously, then income certificates. What's
What's the question, Adam?
so what's the relationship now between the task force and the training committee in terms of process? Right now, three of us are in a room together trying to figure out what that is. So there's again trying to that's an app order. It's me, or it's trying. So we're trying to figure out. Jen and I are trying to on what the best path forward is here. before we bring it back to that. Task force, then as, what we talk about, the path is. Yes. So think about it this way, the saying, for y'all, the representation is that general education as a state task force is not. That's fine. This is even the hard part.
As an observation, it wasn't any easier 25 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
So I remember, I still remember the also the second. So we've had two, the school board eventually has ended up with two model revisions. One in 2000, one in 2012. It's not for lack of trying. I had a group that was led by Eva Kyle that was trying to get the, and actually one of our colleagues, very active, very active. It's just that one just kind of fell apart. What we're trying. And because it's the board resolution.
Adam? Might I speak?
Well, Senator Harris.
Yeah, one question. Is it at all possible to decouple the compliance with the state mandated from the?
So we also found out when we had the 60 people on call, ODHE, and we had 4 or 5 representatives from ODHE. And it turns out, Brenda and Michelle Shaker were on call with us. After the call, we said, wow, we really don't know. So what we found out was we actually are one of the only persons in the state that actually follows the model pretty darn closely right now. And we're talking about even more changes to follow that exactly. And I think they have this idea that it was built as a one-size-fits-all model by somebody at Ohio State. Well, that's what I've been told. Right?
Yeah, it was.
And of course, when I look at the student profile of someone here at YSU versus someone at Ohio State, I see two different. We were also talking this morning, Trustee Seals brought up, Sherman brought up peer groups, institutions, and Trustee Seals brought up success rates among other students. And you're saying, well, I'm sitting back there right now, so I'm here to talk about something that's not regularly, but we want to talk about. This is exactly why I wouldn't follow the model statement. Exactly why we would do what's in the best interest of YSU, best interest of our students, but best interest of our mission. So when we talk about cutting the second grading class, cutting communication, seem to be very core to our students who see. Of course, not going to work with. She has been us. Any other questions? Thanks, everybody. If you always get questions, I mean, I know that I'm book, but most of my email, text, whatever. Thanks for my connection too. You're doing fantastic work. There hasn't been much to work on for the last couple weeks, but they know it's coming. So
Thank you. Is there any other new business? Hearing none, we're adjourned.